Yep. Welcome guys, welcome back to the channel. This is basically Allegri's press conference reaction before the Fiorentina game, where he said some very interesting things, things people will like, and some things people will absolutely hate, but that's just a normal Allegri's presser, I think. So he talked about Sule, he talked about McKennie, he talked about Dybala, about the moment, and man, he said a big thing about Rabiot. I think what he said about Rabiot, well, it's what we are thinking basically after every Rabiot game. I think we all say Rabiot needs to step up. If he's not stepping up, his time at the club might be done. I know people say it should be done either way, even if he steps up this season. But I think Allegri defended Rabiot a lot. Pirlo did, Sarri did to a certain extent. So no more excuses, but we will get into him basically, I would say, ripping Rabiot, because that's what he did, in my opinion. But yeah, let's get into it. So, what did he say? Let me get the quotes up. Oh, the quotes are up. So he was asked about Fiorentina, and he said Fiorentina have 3 points more than us. They have technical players. They use the whole field. They have a very good coach who need to play a good game, both technically and defensively. Again, that's what I said in the preview, after the Zenit game. Like, it's not gonna be like Zenit. I'm pretty sure Fiorentina will press us, because that's the way they play. Zenit didn't press us one bit, so it was very easy for our midfielders basically to play that game. Fiorentina will press, and they have some good players, especially up front, so it will be a different game. Again, people say, oh, he says the same things every presser, but we keep making the same mistakes basically every game. Technically, we play some bad games. We lose possession, not because we get pressed, but because we misplay so many passes in midfield. From the wing, it's insane. And against better teams, against teams that will press you, you will concede goals. It's that simple. Again, it's Andrew Finham saying it's 8 a.m. in the US. Well, it's 1 p.m. over here, so good morning. But thanks for joining. So yeah, that's basically what he said about Fiorentina. Again, we need the 3 points tomorrow. Like, we really need them. We are chasing everybody. Like, I didn't even know we were 3 points behind Fiorentina until we have 3 points. Less than Fiorentina. I didn't know that until Allegri said that. Again, I don't look at the standings. I have no idea where we are, which place we're sitting, who's in front of us, how many points they have more of us. I'm not looking at that, because just taking game by game. I think that's the best thing to do at the moment. Then, okay, so the biggest basically talking point the last few days is Matthias Sule. Like, everybody wants him to play. Forgetting, because everybody wants to wait. Stephanie's saying it's a life or die tomorrow. Oh, I understand. No, you need to win tomorrow. There's no question. Like, if you don't win, the Zenit game is useless in my opinion. Like, if we don't win tomorrow, I will say we don't make top 4 at all. Like, no chance. If you don't win against Fiorentina at home, who has more points than you, who shouldn't have more points than you, then you're done for the season. If you don't win tomorrow, like, how many games are you gonna drop points at home also? So that's that. So Sule, everybody saw him play maybe 90 minutes in total, and people are basing basically their opinion on those few minutes they saw Sule play. And I said it when we were live with Julian, when the news broke that he got called up for the national team, that people will go after Allegri now. And I said it at the time. Oh no, I said it in the private chat. I said I think he got called up just because the Italian national team was trying to bring in Sule. So the Argentina national team it's like, we call him up, we give him a few minutes, and then it's done for the future. He needs to play for us, and that's basically what happened. That's why he got called up. Again, I don't think he's ready for first team football. I don't think he is. I think he can take a step higher up in terms of not playing Serie C football. But dropping him in the first team, I don't think so. I think he should get a chance next season in training camp. If he can add something, then why not? But I think the most important thing is, will he play consistently? If the answer is no, then don't keep him at the team. It's useless. Like, if he cannot play consistent football, like week in, week out, a decent amount of minutes, then keeping him on the team makes no sense to me. Just loan him out then to a good team, not to Genoa or Sampdoria, just from those teams. But if you're going to keep him in the squad just for the sake of keeping him in the squad, then no, it's pointless, it's useless. If you want to keep him in the first team, he needs to get serious minutes, otherwise useless. So he was asked about Sule. He said he's a good kid, let's leave him quiet, otherwise we'll make the usual mistake with youngsters to play 3 games and they are Ballon d'Or winners. That's what I said. Like, Sule, unless you watch the Primavera play and the under 23s, and then again it's a different level. So you cannot base, in my opinion, like, make an assessment on a few minutes you saw Sule and say he's ready. I know we have some bad players in the team, but again, people want to keep Bernardeschi in the team, so why not give Sule a chance? Like, if the standards are that low, then maybe, yeah, he should get a chance. But let's see. Then he said, before considering whether to put them in the first team or in Serie A, they must also play in Serie B. It's important, and they must play a lot of games. Unfortunately, we don't do that very often, and there's a risk that players get lost along the way. Now, I know people will go mad about it, and to a certain extent, I agree, because they bring up Pedri from Barcelona, forgetting that they paid a lot of money for Pedri. He played some minor league football. Every player, like, they have also basically Serie C teams over there where they play week in, week out. The only difference is they get a chance earlier, which is something we need to improve on. I think the U23s is improving players, and again, we started that 3 years ago. It will take time. Like, we're not going to produce quality like Barcelona and other teams because they have a consistent youth setup. They have a very good youth setup, and not just them, like also the other teams. At us, it's just Atalanta, who's kind of decent. The rest of the Serie A doesn't really care about youth, in my opinion. So it will take some time to basically produce those type of players, because the U23 project is just fairly new. Let's see what Stephanie's saying. Is that weird signing someone like Caio, so young, and not even playing him for a couple of minutes? I will get to Caio, I think, in a few minutes, because I have my take on it. But yeah. Andrew Finneman saying, I really like Sule, hope he somehow joins the Italian national team. Nah, that's done. Like, he got called up for the Argentina national team for a reason, and that's the reason. Like, they're gonna play him a few minutes and then it's done, and I don't think he will get called up anytime soon. So yeah, the truth is we are building a better youth setup. We are, but it will take time. Again, it will take some time. It's only fairly basically new, the project. It's getting better, but it's still far away from what it basically should be. That's it. So yeah, let's move on from Sule. Then he said, okay, because basically he repeated what me and Julian said after the live, or what we are saying basically after every game. He said it's not as if the 4-2 win over Zenit has made us great. You are a very good team, but you have to keep your feet on the ground. We need a lot of balance. We need to keep quiet, keep paddling, and work. And that's what I mean by taking it game by game. Like, you won one, great, but we are capable to lose the next one. Like, the team showed that this season. So that's why I said it in every live stream multiple times. Even today, I'm just taking it game by game. We won against Zenit, great, was a good win. But if you go on tomorrow and you don't win, it's useless. And people will say, but 2 different competitions. Our home record in Serie A is awful. It's awful. Again, even if it was away to Fiorentina, there was no excuse. You need to win. Like, you drop so many points, you need to win tomorrow. End of story. That's it. He also said if you want to play with a lot of offensive players, you need offensive players to do the defending. Otherwise, you become vulnerable. You win one, draw one, and lose another. And basically, that's hitting the nail on the head. Again, that does not mean he needs to play Chiesa. Basically, I don't know how he played him. Like, he was tracking back so much against Sassuolo. Like, I get you need to defend, but if your main task is to defend for a player like Chiesa, that's wrong for me. That's very wrong. So I agree to a certain extent. You need to defend. You look at PSG. They have so many attacking-minded players on the field. Defending-wise, they're awful. They're just open. You can carve them open very easy, and they don't have bad players at the back. But if you don't defend as a team, you will get dunked on at some point. Like, that's how it is. You need to defend as a team. Again, that doesn't mean I'm saying like Chiesa track back for 90 minutes. Like, I'm not saying that, but when you don't have the ball in certain moments of the game, also you need to defend as a channel. Because I was reading Andrew's comment as a team. Otherwise, you will lose games. You will concede goals against Verona, against Sassuolo, name it, because they're still professional players. So, yeah. Let's move on. Then it was asked about the Retiro, which I think is like, I'm not saying it's a joke, but like, it's very weird to me, like the way it's handled with the free day off. But he said these 3 days that we have been together are the days that we have missed in the summer. We are together, there's more time to work, and we needed this. Now, however, we need to finish well before the break, otherwise these days were useless. That's what I say. I think he means the Zenit result will be useless if you just fall into old habits once again. So that's that. And then he was asked about the criticism he's getting, and he said, criticism is a part of the game, especially if it concerns a coach who's not getting results in the league. It's a stimulus. I've lived through this moment, trying to analyze it. Like, it's his job to get the team out of it. Like, that's what he's saying basically, and that's why he was brought in. Like, that's why he's getting paid. So yeah, nothing special there. Move on. And then again, he spoke about the defensive phase, saying the defensive phase is important and must be done by everyone, including offensive players. Otherwise, you become vulnerable. Like, if it's done well, you will get better results. Also, moving forward, you will do better. Again, to a certain extent, yeah. At certain moments of the game, yes. That's it. Okay, and then he said, every defeat has its own story and it has to be analyzed well. The performances weren't bad, but if you concede a lot of goals, something is missing. Well, the last part is obvious, but I don't agree that we were having good performances. They were bad. Like, let's be real. I know some coach might say it's just straightforward, we are bad. I don't think he's that type of coach. But the last performances weren't good. So he doesn't need to basically sugarcoat it. They weren't good. It's that simple. So yeah. I'm moving through these quotes because I want to get to the last ones, which basically is the most important one in my opinion. Then he said, after we take the lead, we pull the plug, everything seems to become easy, and there's in that situation that we become vulnerable. That's what we said so many times. Like once we take the lead, but not just this season, the last seasons, no matter who the coach was, we tend to just lay back, concede goals. It's basically copy paste, like it's just repeating himself every damn game, every season. So that's something that needs to change. I don't think it's going to change anytime soon because it's happening for 3 seasons or 4 seasons now with the same players, different coach. So, well, you know what the common denominator is? It's the players at the end of the day. Again, I'm not saying the coach has no fault in this because he has, because he's training these players. But at the end of the day, I don't think that's going to change much. And that's it. He also said the league matches for us now are all must win until we find the mental continuity. We have to be realistic and practical. Our matches in the league have always been open, and that's not good. Well, that's obviously not good, especially if you're playing open games against teams like Sassuolo, Verona, Empoli, Udinese, and you don't win them. Like, then something is like really wrong. Like, we scored 2 goals against Udinese, none against Empoli, 1 against Sassuolo, 1 against Verona. So that's just not good enough. Like, you scored not enough goals against the smaller teams, and then you give him a chance to basically come back into it because you're playing open games. So yeah. And then we move on to the last quotes, which is why I did the live basically. He said, because he was asked about, is Dybala a leader in terms of that? And he said, I found Dybala to have matured. He trains the right way every day. I think everybody had that question, like, is Dybala really that leader, like that captain? I think those questions were the right questions to ask, because I think it was a Buffon who said something like he is mental in training, like if some things are not going his way, he can basically shut a bit down. Like, that's not a real captain. But again, if he changed that, then great, because he's gonna need to be the captain, because he's signing a new deal until 26. Bonucci, Chiellini, and players like that are not going to be there until 26. So he will need to step up. He will need to take that role. So if he's done that, great. That's good news for us, basically, and for the club. So yeah. Then he said Morata finally got his goal, and when he scores, he's a player who then goes on and run. I think we all said that. Like, he needs confidence. Like, if he is in a bad period, it's awful to watch. If he's in a good period, he scores goals, important goals. So let's hope the goal against Zenit will help him. I'm not sure, because his all-around game is very poor at the moment. So he needs to flip the switch massively. Like, a lot of things need to basically improve. So let's see tomorrow, because he's going to play. Then he was asked about Caio, and that is where Stephanie's comment comes in on Caio. He said Caio is continuing his path well. He's physically better. He can play either as a first or second striker. I was shocked that he didn't play against Verona one single minute, because he was coming on, and then he got called to the bench once again. I mean, for him to watch Morata stink the place out and not even getting a minute mustn't feel great. Like, so I agree with Stephanie. I think he should get some more minutes. Also, because Keane is out, like, he is the only option. He should be getting some minutes. Against Zenit, he couldn't play because he's not in the list. I get that. But I expect him to have some minutes tomorrow. Especially if Morata just keeps playing like the way he's playing the last few games. Even if he scored that goal, if he keeps playing like that, then yeah, he should get more minutes. Caio, definitely. And then the most important quote, Rabiot. So he was asked about Rabiot, and he said, it's useless to talk about potential. Rabiot has to do much more, simple as that. So Allegri come out many times saying he has so much potential. Even Pirlo, like he said, basically said the same things. He doesn't even know the potential he possesses. He can do much more. He's physically, he can score goals, and he needs to do that more. He needs to make those runs more, stuff like that. Well, it's clear he's not doing that. Like he looks just like a very, very basic footballer. Like he does nothing special on the field. Everything he does is so basic. And we said that so many times before. Like he can score goals. Like you can see that, but he doesn't take a shot like ever. He makes the easy passes. Sometimes he gets bullied off the ball, which is insane if you look how he's built. Many times he forgets to pick up positions, close down, passing lanes, like even headers. He's bad at headers for a strong, tall guy. Like he doesn't win hand. Oh, Stephanie's saying such a tall guy, no headers, not trying to win 50-50 balls. Yeah, that's the most frustrating thing I experience watching Rabiot. Is like when it's a 50-50 ball, he thinks I'm not doing that. Like he pulls out, and that's not good enough. Like you're playing top level football, like especially in big games. Like you need to win those 50-50 balls. That's what will win you the game at the end of the day, because there are a lot of 50-50 balls. So again, I think Allegri, will I say, had enough. I think he is done basically sticking up for him after every game. I think that comment says it all. Like he needs to do much more. Simple as that. Like it's up to Rabiot. Even if Ross said he's there, that Rabiot is now 3 seasons at the club. If he's not improving, he needs to leave. I think we all agree with that. Will he leave? I don't know. His wages are crazy if you see what he brings on the pitch. Like nobody's taking on that wage with that little of output. So yeah, he needs to improve, and that's why I said I think McKennie will play once again. I think Rabiot fell down the pecking order at the moment. It's up to him to basically climb up that ladder again. I don't think he will, because over the course of 3 seasons I tried to defend him many times, but he offers so little. Like it's crazy how little he offers when he plays. It's just such a basic footballer when he plays. Like it's frustrating to watch him, because you know he can do much more, but like it's like he doesn't have the strength to do more, or doesn't have the basically confidence, or doesn't even want to do more. So again, that Allegri quote is very, very telling, because he usually doesn't say these things. Like he's usually like he can do more, he will do more. He was just very, very to the point with it, saying it's not good enough, he needs to do better. So that's a bit surprising. I think it's good. You don't need to sugarcoat it. We all see that Rabiot was not performing well, so just say it. Ali is saying, so Rabiot, he doesn't fight for every ball. I don't know if he lacks motivation or what, but if he continues like that, he needs to leave. That's what I say. I think sometimes it is motivation to me. It's like he doesn't really care, basically, to put in that shift, put in the extra tackle, the extra yard, and that's not good enough. And I agree, he needs to leave. If this is the Rabiot, like if he's not gonna live up to the hype, or people will say what hype, but you know what I mean, then yeah, he needs to go. But the problem is his wage is so high. Like you need another crazy team like us to pay that wage, and a transfer fee, because we got him on a free. The club will ask for some money. So yeah. Andrew Finham saying he plays left midfield. I feel this confuses him, but no improvement is Sale. Yeah, but even if he plays on his natural position, because like the left midfield thing, it's just 3-4 times now, just his usual position since he joined, it's not good enough. So yeah. Stephanie is saying, wasn't he laughing with Sandro in the locker room losing to Verona like someone? Come on, I've not seen that. I saw a video, but that was before coming on the pitch. Like I have no problem with that. I don't think players should be depressed. They just need to perform. I'm not really looking into these things, but if it's a different video, I've not seen it. So let me know. But yeah, so that's why I said against Julian, I think McKennie just climbed that basically packing order, like, which sounds insane the way he was playing the last days. So yeah, Hanin is saying, so Rabiot, he's a lazy guy, doesn't want to put in an effort. Yeah, that's what I said. Like, it's, and again, I don't want to say that, but he has qualities, but he has not shown it for one bit, like, consistently. Like, he can have a good game, and then he can go on a 8 to 10 games awful run, like just a basic run. For a play, again, he earned 7 mil. It's not his fault. Like, if I got offered the money, I will take it. Like, no player is gonna say I want less. So it's the club's fault. But at the end of the day, he needs to do more. Like, McKennie is very limited as a footballer, but he does more. But again, he is limited as a footballer. We all know that. Technically, Rabiot is a better footballer than McKennie. But McKennie at least makes that up with his runs, his goals, his effort. Rabiot, he doesn't even try to basically to make up his poor decision making, but just, oh my god, the amount of times he loses the ball and he just stands still. Like, he doesn't move, he doesn't close down the passing lane, he just is still. Like, he doesn't move. It happens so many times in dangerous positions, and that's what Hanin is saying. He's lazy. He's a very lazy player. He is. And I think Allegri is done defending him, and that's very telling. So it won't surprise me if in the coming few weeks, months, there will be rumors about him leaving, his mother, I don't know, making a fuss about everything. So let's see what will happen. Mike with saying Morata's trash. I don't understand why we're keeping him. Well, because we didn't have money, and he was basically a cheap 10 million euro fix. But again, I said it many times before, we don't need to buy him. Like, 35 million euros plus the 20 we already spent on it. It's 55 million euros for Rabiot. That's insane. Like, just don't do it. That's all I'm saying. Just don't do it. I agree with that. Trash, I think he's a good squad player, but you cannot keep a 55 million euros player on 6-7 million euros. That's his wage as a squad player. That's not gonna happen. So I think we need to move on from him next season. I hope we move on from him next season, because he cannot be your starting number 9 if you want to compete for the big things once again, like, because he's not consistent enough. So yeah. Again, if there are no other questions, I will basically end this video. There will be a preview live tonight, as always, a daily news video coming up also. But yeah, again, we need to win tomorrow, no matter who's playing, even if it's Rabiot. We just need 3 points. It's that simple. Like, no excuses. We need 3 points. If we don't pick up the 3 points tomorrow, I will say it's done. We will not even make top 4. No chance. I will say that tomorrow if we don't pick up the 3 points at home once again, because our home record is not good enough this season, and it usually is basically impeccable, season in, season out, ever since we opened the stadium. So that needs to change. But yeah, let's see. Thanks for everybody for joining, because I know it's very, very early for the most of the people in the chat. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you tonight.